Welcome to another episode of Where Are They Now? The Case of the Vampire of Paris. Born on March 22nd, 1972, and starting to convict crimes at 17 years old, Nicolas Claux already had a strong fascination with graveyards, dead bodies, and human blood. His whole life he had a lonely and sad childhood. Never being able to make friends with others, he spent a lot of time on his own.
Hi, my name's Katie, and I'm here interviewing Nicolas Claux. So, what was your childhood like?
My childhood was pretty normal, except I was really withdrawn and only had a couple friends. I was a lonely child, lacking a brother and sister to play with, so I spent most of my time alone. Mom, what's for dinner? Hello? I've actually felt like I was blamed for my grandfather's death by my parents, so I don't really have the best relationship with them.
So, can you tell me about when your crime started?
Yeah, I was around 17. As I grew older, I began to read a lot of books about vampires and werewolves, and eventually I became fascinated with death, human corpses, and the statue of Kazazu.
What's that?
It's a Sumerian demon. It eventually led to robbing graves. It gave me an opportunity to get closer to dead bodies, which is what I really wanted.
So, Nicholas, did you ever have a stable job during the time you were robbing the graves?
Not really. I joined the military when I was 20, but after a year I really realized it wasn't for me.
After Nicholas left the military, he was able to get a job at St. Joseph Hospital as a morgue attendant in December of 1993. He then became even closer to the corpses.
I would be alone with the dead bodies often. It gave me the desire to taste them and drink their blood. I liked to eat them raw the most. It tasted like steak. The thighs and back were probably the best. It had the most meat on them. I also liked to store the leftover bags of blood they had and take them home and mix them with a little powder protein or human ashes and then drink it. It was the perfect drink.
So, what did you think others would say about you when they found this out? Or what did you think about yourself? Did you realize what you were actually doing?
Well, I really didn't care what others thought. I just always thought to myself, wow, I'm a cannibal. Cool.
On the morning of October 4th, 1994, Nico decided to turn one of his fantasies into reality, one that he has put a lot of thought into for a while, one that was bigger than his previous crimes and that would change his life forever. All morning, Nicholas searched for a victim. No one in particular, just someone he could easily get his hands on. He soon decided to turn to a network called Mintle. It was an early version of internet dating where mostly the gay community would meet up. He thought this was the perfect way to commit a crime with no witnesses. He soon found his victim, a man he began chatting with.
Yep.
Once he is given the address, he begins to get ready and hides a gun under his coat. He arrives at the guy's house and is invited in. When the guy shuts the door, he pulls the gun out and shoots him. After shooting him, Nico walks around and examines the body for a little bit.
What was it like in the moment after shooting him? What did you do?
I mean, pretty eerie. I walked around him for a little bit, but noticed he was still alive because he kept making noises, so I kept shooting him again. Eventually, I just went in his kitchen and began to eat his food. Before I left, I had to make sure he was really dead, so I shot him again.
Nico left the scene, taking the victim's wallet, checkbook, driver's license, and most valuable items. In mid-October, Claux got caught when he tried to forge the man's bank checks to buy a VCR. The clerk noticed the different signatures and scammed ID. Claux got away before police arrived, but was eventually arrested on November 15, 1994. He immediately confessed to the murder. He also confessed to robbing graves and drinking blood and mutilating bodies. He was soon sent to jail in Paris, where he stayed for a while on trial. His trial was in May 1997. The jury found that there was not enough evidence for rumors of him being an actual serial killer, and they only had enough to prove that he committed one actual murder. He was found guilty of premeditated murder, armed robbery, fraudulent use of a bank check, falsification of his driver's license photo, and an attempt to defraud the retailer of the video camera. He was then sentenced to 12 years in prison. For about 4 years, he remained in prison and was eventually transferred to Mason Central, Boise.
How was your time in prison?
Well, I actually got to share the block with other serial killers, and this is where I found that I loved to paint. I enjoyed it and discovered I had a natural talent for painting. Let me out!
Nicolas Claux was released early from prison on his birthday, March 22, 2002, and he now spends his time working on tattoos, paintings, and the internet. He also is still working in graveyards.
Happy birthday to me!
Out of jail! Woo!